Okay, so with everything that went down this year with the whole George Floyd thing, the riots, protests, and stuff, I felt like this movie would be the appropriate movie to do a review on and put out as it relates to everything that's been going on, and I can get some of my thoughts off about it or whatever. I ain't gonna make this too long, but I felt like it was the right time. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the review. So The Hate U Give is based off of a book of the same title, which I haven't read. And you're going to get that a lot with a lot of movie reviews that I'm doing that is based off of source material that comes from a book. But in any case, this movie tells the story of a girl named Star who lives in a not so good neighborhood but goes to school in a different neighborhood that is much better, in which she feels that she has to be two ways, one way with her black friends and another way with her white friends, and just keeping it separate makes life a whole lot easier for her. But everything becomes complicated once she witnesses her childhood best friend get murdered by the police, in which she feels that on one hand she has to say something because something needs to be said on behalf of him because he's not here to speak on it, as well as she wants to keep quiet because she doesn't want her life to be more complicated than what it is, and it just eats at her because both sides are just clashing together. And this film, it explores racism and injustice and what it means for us as a people and how it's still a problem even today. And to start off, I do say this in a lot of reviews, how a lot of movies have their opening scenes set the tone for the rest of the film. And this one is a prime example and is no exception, because this movie, when you get a load of the first scene, it literally sets off what the rest of the film is going to be like. And because it starts off so powerful, the rest of the film just carries the torch all the way into the end. And I love that. And then after that, you follow Star, and she explains why she has to be different with both sets of her friends, white and black, and how just doing so makes it so simple for her because of way white people look at her if she acts a certain way, and how her black friends will look at her if she acts that other way. So even though it's making her life very simple, it still is kind of like putting her in a place to where she's pleasing everybody. And I love how it was kind of demonstrated in the beginning of that is her mind frame, but then towards the end of the film, it's more of I'm doing it for myself. Fuck whatever you're saying. Fuck whatever you're saying. This is what's right, and this is what I'm going to do. And I love how that was handled. But one small negative thing I can say about this film is that some of the conversations between the teens at the party and stuff, it just didn't come across genuinely sounding like a teen and how they were taught. It just seemed like an adult's perspective of like how teens talk nowadays and all that stuff. And it just kind of seemed off and kind of faked. Maybe it was just how some of the actors delivered their lines. I just don't know. It just didn't really come off truly genuine and organic. But the emotion of the subject matter carries a tremendous amount of weight. And I felt it even watching this the second time. The moments and the conversations about the subject matter are extremely powerful and was well thought out, as there is a lot of setup in this film that have great payoffs later on. And there are great performances all across the board with the main cast, from Algie Smith, who plays Khalil, to Regina Hall as the mom, who very much comes off as a mom who's very strict and very protective of her children, as well as Issa Rae as April, who is kind of like this activist and a consult of sorts to Star and helping her make her decision, whatever it may be, but really is pushing toward her, really getting her voice out there. But to me, the absolute standouts were Russell Hornsby and Amanda Stenberg in their performances, with Hornsby as the father, who is a former gang member as well as an ex-con, but he is a man who wants the best for his family and wants a better life than he had growing up. So he instills these important core values for his kids to carry on throughout their lives, and he would die before he let any harm be done to them. And Russell Hornsby delivers an incredible performance, which I was just shocked as hell, because out of everything that I've seen him in, this is the movie where I've seen that he is at his very best. And Stenberg's portrayal of Star is amazing, and how she brings out the sadness, the anger, just the pure raw emotion, and sells every bit of it, carrying the film without fail. And I can't really state just how in awe I was about her performance. Just incredible. But I truly love the strong family dynamic and the sense of pride that they have, and I especially love how it was shown. It's not perfect by a long shot, but the love that they have for one another is one that should be expressed throughout black families, but sadly isn't. But I did love seeing it in this film. But unfortunately, one of the things that came off corny just a tad bit was the meaning of thug life and the overemphasizing of what it means. It was piled on extremely heavy and could have felt less forced in its delivery. And so at the end of the day, this movie is just simply incredible. It is moving, inspirational, and thought-provoking in its execution. This movie works very well, especially due to recent events, and it shows how a movie like this can be made, and it has no less relevance today than it did when it came out. Even if you're talking about a few years ago or over a decade, it still has the same impact. But don't get it twisted. This movie is uncomfortable, but it is a must-see, and it does have some rewatchability. This is a movie that I feel like a lot of people should go ahead and check out and really just soak everything that it has to give all in. And honestly, looking back, I don't know how I didn't put this on my best of 2018 list, because it will fit perfectly on there. And if I haven't even really just given it away, it goes without saying that this movie is a definite hit. If you haven't seen it yet, go ahead, check it out. They have it free on Amazon Prime, on Google Play Store, iTunes, and stuff for the rest of the month for a rental. So whenever you get a chance, go ahead and check it out. It is a must-see movie.